Hello, my friends. And today marks a significant change. And previously, discussions revolves around the outdated Russian army and its ineffectiveness. However, Deputy Commander of the 3rd Assault Brigade Zhoryn stated that everything has changed. So let me translate for you. I believe that now the front is facing one of the most threatening situations since the start of the full-scale war. In 2022, we witnessed an outdated Russian army, ineffectiveness, and insufficient experienced officers. But today, we face an entirely different army because the enemy is learning and evolving. So we have lost a lot of time delaying mobilization while the enemy prepared for a new stage of troop advancement. We don't know the exact scenarios, whether it's Kharkiv, the south, Donbass, or all together, possibly with some aggressive moves on the border, but they are getting ready for an offensive. I'm not writing this to incite panic, as I'm confident that we can handle it. At least the military is preparing, doing, and will do everything within our capabilities. But it would be great if the entire country were involved and also prepared. And now let's turn to the Chasiv Yar direction. So, as you may recall, Russians were tasked, based on information from prisoners, to capture Chasiv Yar by May 9th. So, as it turns out, they failed to do so. However, battles continue, and they exerting all efforts to push forward. So, over 20 assaults were recorded in this direction within a day, and the occupiers, as before, are attempting to advance in the Novy micro-district area and pushing through the forest. So, meanwhile, battles for Ivanivsk also continue, where the Ukrainian forces continue to destroy all advancing enemy groups. So, as a result, the occupiers cannot capture the remaining part of the village. So, additionally, the Russians persist in their offensive on Klishchiivka and Andriivka. So, the situation remains tense here, as the occupiers advance using BMPs, but the Ukrainian forces continue to repel them, keeping the front line unchanged. So this section of the front is crucial for the Russians, as they plan to extend the front line to Konstantinivka. So in the direction of Pokrovsk, the occupiers continue to actively storm Novo-Alexandrivka and shell the village. So their main objective here is to reach the highway. However, their rapid advance has been halted, and for several days now they have been attempting to break through the area of Novo-Alexandrivka, but the Ukrainian forces have been conducting successful counterattacks. So battles are also ongoing for Yevhenivka, the village of Sokil, and Novopokrovsk, but the Russians haven't achieved any new successes here either. So further south, battles are raging for Umanske, Netailove, and skirmishes have resumed in the Nevelske area. So, however, there have been no changes along the front line within the day, despite the Russians conducting 35 assaults, which is a significant indicator. So, in the direction of Kurakhove, the occupiers didn't succeed in Krasnohorivka, so today they intensified shelling of the city. So shelling of Georgiivka also continue, and storms are ongoing today in the area of Poroshenko and the village of Konstantinivka, but there have been no changes along the front line within the day. So in the Vuhledar direction, the Russians haven't achieved success near the village of Vadiane, and today all attacks have ceased. However, battles continue in the Staromayorsk and Urozhaine areas. So here, the Russians are attempting to regain control of long-destroyed villages, and despite position changing hands, they are unable to make significant progress, and the front line remains unchanged within the day. in the Zaporizhia direction. So the occupiers are similarly unable to capture Robotyne. So the Ukrainian forces successfully destroy them there, and all attacks are unsuccessful. And it's also important to emphasize that the Russians are also shell Nikopol practically every day. So the situation there remains tense. Okay, in the Kherson direction. So the occupiers continue to storm the village of Krinky and shell the right bank. And there are no significant changes as before, but the Ukrainian forces still cannot expand their foothold. So, and considering that the Russians no longer transfer military equipment via the Crimean bridge, so and have sufficient land corridor, destroying the bridge may not lead to an improvement in the situation on this front for now. So, in the Siversk direction. After a brief regrouping, the occupiers have resumed their attacks on Bilohorivka, attempting to break through with tanks. However, all their assaults seem to be futile and the front line remains unchanged. So, attempts to break through closer to the village of Verkhnyo-Kamensk persist. But the Ukrainian forces hold their defense and the front line remains unchanged. In the Crimea direction, so the occupiers have once again resumed attacks in the Serebryanka forestry. So it's reported that as a result of Russian shelling, 470 hectares of coniferous forest have burned down. So, additionally, the occupiers are storming the village of Nevsky with multiple groupings, and attacks on Makiyevka have also resumed. So, but despite continuous shelling along the front line, there have been no changes within the day. In the area of Svatove, so the occupiers continue their attacks on Stelmachivka and Berestove. So the intensity is not the highest, with several assaults per day, yet the Russians fail to achieve any success, leaving the front line unchanged. In the Kupiansk direction, so battles are raging in the area of Sinkivka, and after capturing Kaslivka and Kotlerivka, the occupiers have begun storming Ivanivka. So shelling of the adjacent territory also continues. And from Russian territory, so shelling of border villages in the Chernihiv, Sumy and Kharkiv regions continues. So no new sabotage and reconnaissance groups have been detected in Kharkiv today. So, but it appears that the Russians are actively conducting reconnaissance. So recently, a large number of reconnaissance drones were reported in the Sumy region, suggesting that the Russians may be preparing for something. So, however, Ukraine is also gradually arming itself, and the president of the Czech Republic announced that the Czech Republic has already found over 1 million rounds of ammunition for Ukraine abroad. So, President Petr Pavel stated that the country wants to provide Ukraine with as much ammunition as possible in the shortest possible time. So, meanwhile, a Ukrainian soldier stated that even during Poroshenko's presidency, no serious defensive lines were built because they were thinking about negotiations. So it's muted, but there will be a subscription. So, please right? What do you think about this? Please share your thoughts in the comments. And that's all from me. Please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and of course hit the notification bell to stay updated on all the latest news. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye.